Buenos dias, and salam alaikum crypto arkadaşlar. We just had an amazing Cosmos Istanbul event last night, and you can see we had well over actually 400 signups. We only could accept 363, but there were a lot of people that were on the wait list and unfortunately couldn't join because the venue was too small in times where people are calling death upon the forbidden ecosystem, aka Cosmos. But we had a very successful event. I wasn't there personally myself, but Cryptocito, who's also on our team at Cosmos and also runs a validator with Stake and Relax, he was in charge for that. He did an amazing job leading the event. So well done. This was super cool. And especially after like last year, Cosmos in Istanbul, I think Istanbul now is one of the hotspots and one of the home bases for the Cosmos ecosystem. A lot of people know about Cosmos. Lots of validators that came out of Cosmos last year that are based out of Turkey. A lot of developers that are now working in teams across the Cosmos. And also some teams that are now entering the Turkish market, right? Like, for example, Union, which was also one of the sponsors for this event, as well as Nolus. And then also all our Road to Cosmos partners, Mantra, Persistence, Neutron, Osmosis, Babylon as well, which is headline sponsor for Cosmos, and Bitcoin Track Lead, which is going to be really big this year. Sentinel as well. They're also going to be at Cosmos this year, by the way. The Cosmos Hub via AADAO, Inter Protocol, and also Node 101. Big shout out to them. They are a local validator in Turkey, and they are good friends of us and did a great job as well. And of course also Akash Network, which is also going to be the main sponsor for our next event, which is happening this Friday in Buenos Aires, Argentina. But some impressions from yesterday. I think it's very important to understand how important physical events are, right? Because it provides an on-ramp. That's why I believe so much into in events, because that's how I got onboarded into crypto in the first place, by attending these events in my city, in my place, meeting these people that are working in crypto, getting a feel for the industry, for the vibe, the culture of the people, and all around it, and also to then eventually started working in this industry, right, and get educated. So I believe a lot into that, and you can see this is before, and this is how it looked like after people started to come in the first presentations. We had a panel there as well, so that was really cool. Aleph was there as well, which is also a privacy project, and you can see this is just the inside, and this is also the outside in the networking. So hundreds of people were there, big success. And again, shout out to Mantra Chain, Union as well, and also Nolus for sponsoring, and also Road to Cosmos partners to support this as well. Also, of course, don't forget Cosmos, October 21-23. We have some big announcements lined up, announcing the first tracks and all the projects that will be there. And yeah, it's going to be really cool. So get your ticket now. You can get it on cosmos.org, and we'll see you in Dubai. Cosmos Buenos Aires also coming up. If you are in Buenos Aires, Argentina, there's a big conference happening this month. So a lot of people will be there. And this is also filling up nicely. We have 83 signups for now. Akash is going to lead this alongside Keychain, which also sponsored the Medellin event. Keychain is a project out of Bogota, Colombia, but they have team members across Latin America and also in the US. And yeah, Keychain is one of the RWA tokenization projects that is originating out of LATAM. And I think they also focus on Latin America as a market, which I think makes a lot of sense, because I believe a lot in LATAM as kind of the next big market for crypto. Lots of opportunities, smart people, curious people that want to get into crypto. And I think there's a good opportunity for Cosmos to also capture more and more market shares and to build local communities. That's all about the event side of things. Now let's actually go straight into Cosmos news. We have a lot to cover. A big airdrop that just was basically released. We have new project announcements, an airdrop farming campaign basically, where you can also refer people, and a lot more. But starting off with the price action, nothing much happening, to be honest. The big winner over the past day and a half has been actually Saga, up 20%. It actually went to $1.70, so on track to reclaim $2 here. And Saga also did a big announcement. I'm not sure if price action is directly correlated to that. I haven't looked at exactly when it started pumping or whatever, but Jin Kwon wrote a part 1 blog post about the Saga Liquidity Integration Layer, aka LIL. LIL Saga was announced, and what it basically does, it creates a mechanism for liquidity to be accessible and composable within the entire Saga economy, because Saga itself has an architecture that consists of what's called chainlets, which are basically Saga secured chains, aka consumer chains to Saga, that are optimized for speed and throughput and for security as well. which is much needed in the gaming ecosystem, for example. That's also why Saga is focused primarily, in this initial launch phase at least, on the gaming sector and gaming vertical. And I think this is a very smart move. If we look at some other projects that have integrated liquidity into the core fundamentals of the chain, you can look at something like Thorchain. You can also look at what's coming up with Berachain, their proof of liquidity consensus algorithm. It's literally on the validator level at Berachain. But here what you have is the liquidity integration layer, which itself is a chainlet. And this is how the topology looks like. The liquidity integration layer here is basically acting as a router for not only other chainlets within the Saga ecosystem, but also to other ecosystems that are outside of Saga, right? Think of Solana, Ethereum, and so on and so forth. So this is really cool. And they're also breaking down here in this article how, especially this multi-chain economy, right, how this fragments liquidity, which is a big issue. And in light of the recent announcement about Angelic, which is a new game that was in development actually since 2016. I didn't know that, but I watched this clip also from Rebecca here, which is 5 minute 46, and she drops a lot of alpha in there, not only about Angelic, but also about new airdrops. The Saga, main Saga airdrop is what she's saying also in that clip. Go watch that right now. But yeah, this game is going to be the flagship game of Saga, and I think a lot more games will follow, right? Saga is still in the early stages of kind of fully rolling out the chain, the liquidity, the gaming ecosystem and everything, the token itself, right? I think phase one is basically to kind of stabilize the chain itself, the liquidity, and the economic value. And then the next phase, which seems like we're entering now, is to really scale, right? Scale liquidity, but also scale the rollout of all games in the Saga ecosystem, which there are hundreds of them, right? We've been covering this for the last literally 2.5 years. So very excited for what's coming on Saga. And yeah, obviously the price action is kind of like, yeah, reflecting some of these developments and some of that value. Saga has been one of the strongest to bounce from last week's crash when it went to like below 90 cents. Now it's $1.60, $1.70. So that's a nice 2x bounce from the lows, which is good to see, shows relative strength to the market. I think especially for the gaming ecosystem, like if you're bullish on gaming, no matter if you're in Cosmos or not, right, it doesn't matter. Ecosystem doesn't matter. But if you're bullish on gaming, you have to look at Saga. You have to look at Saga, one of the most legit gaming ecosystems, because it's also not a single game, right? It's a gaming ecosystem. It's gaming infrastructure that Saga provides with integrated liquidity and with a scalable shared security economy around all these chainlets that are super fast, strong team, well-funded. They focus on the gaming sector. They go to Gamescom, I think, in Cologne, right? They host Multiverse Summit around that. So they're targeting the gaming industry. And I think this is what you don't really see much in crypto, right? They usually just target other crypto users, but they're actually targeting gamers, right? They're sponsoring and partnering with gaming content creators, right? And those kind of things. So I think they do the right things. Now, we also have some big news from our media partners, Aleph Zero, which is a infrastructure project that originates from the Polkadot Kusama world. It's built on Substrate. It's not a parachain, but it's built on Substrate, which is basically the equivalent to being a Cosmos SDK chain, but not being atom secured, for example. Aleph Zero is a standalone L1 built on Substrate, but now they also launched the Aleph Zero EVM. Congratulations on that. That's a big, big win. And I think this contributes more and more to Aleph Zero's kind of mission to interoperate with all the other ecosystems, starting with Ethereum, obviously. They have developed this in collaboration with Gelato Network and use Arbitrum's Orbit stack. This is also a phased rollout, which means right now, this mainnet is live. The most bridge, which is basically their Ethereum bridge, is not live yet. So only small portions of the A0 supply have been bridged so far. But yeah, there's also going to be incentives. I think you'll get one A0 if you bridge or use that, which is enough to cover for hundreds of transactions on this EVM L2. And then you also have a list of projects that are going to deploy there or that are building to deploy there. One of which is also Rarible, which is an NFT marketplace. But also, yeah, Syncra, we talked about this, a DAO service platform for voting, governance platform, RWA projects, a gaming hub with Upcade, multiplayer RPG games. And I still stick to my prediction, which is that ZK is going to be a big narrative on its own, right? ZK for privacy, but also ZK for scalability. And that's how crypto works, right? Crypto always grows in cycles with narratives being in the spotlight. And when they are in the spotlight, they get all the attention, right? They get all the hype. They get all the inflows and liquidity and price pumps, right? We saw it with AI. earlier this year. We saw it with meme coins, obviously. We saw it with RWAs, tokenization, right? Ondo, 7.5 billion. Mantra did 100x, now at 1.1 billion or something like that, FTV. So you always have these phases in which these categories are just massively outperforming the market in very, very short periods of time. And I think ZK is going to have that as well at some point. And there's just so many strong contenders, Aleph 0 being one of them. We also have Namada in Cosmos, Penumbra made in Cosmos, Secret Network made in Cosmos, Union made in Cosmos, Polymer made in Cosmos. The list goes on, very long list. Getting into airdrops, which is probably what you're most interested in, Lido, the biggest, most successful application in all crypto, has entered the Cosmos ecosystem, has entered the Interchain. Liquidity for the Interchain is what their goal is. They've done it on Ethereum. Can they achieve similar success in Cosmos as well? Drop.money is the name of the latest liquid staking provider that has entered the Cosmos arena, and they just went live on mainnet. And with that, they also announced the Droplet airdrop campaign, which is basically a campaign where you can earn these Droplet points. We've been reporting about Drop a couple of weeks ago already, and it didn't take long until they just launched, and here they are. Welcome Drop to Neutron. They're deployed on top of Neutron, which means they're closely integrated with the Neutron ecosystem, which means Astroport and also some of the applications there, and also core part now of the Atom economic zone, because Neutron is a smart contract platform, a permissionless smart contract platform that is an Atom secured chain using Cosmos Hub shared security, 1 in 2 chains. The other one is Stride, which is actually a competitor to Drop. I hope there's not going to be new drama on the horizon and they somehow synergize, but in true Cosmos fashion, maybe there's something around the corner, who knows. I don't want to get into that, but excited to see Drop.money go live. And with Cryptocito, we were one of the teams that were selected to be basically partners for receiving a referral code so that you can already get started with liquid staking on Drop.money. And I'm going to let Winnie from Cryptocito explain how you do that.
Hey guys, it's Winnie from Cryptocito, and as many of you know, last week I made a video about the Droplets program that promises 100 million in drop tokens to those who participate in the early development of the drop ecosystem, and I said that they would be launching soon. Well, the drop mainnet is here, and you can begin to work towards earning yourself a share of these 100 million tokens. Today's instructions are super simple. You're going to need either a referral code or the link that I'm going to share in this video. If you use the link that I'm sharing in this video, it will take you directly to stake your Atom, and then you'll get access to, liquid staked Atom or a D Atom that you can then use in the Neutron ecosystem, because Drop is a liquid staking protocol for the Neutron ecosystem. So again, to simplify this, first, you're going to want to click on the link that I'm going to share and stake your Atom in a liquid staked fashion. When you click on the link, all the settings will be preset for you. So all you will literally need to do is click on stake and then continue on to Astroport and Levana, where you can use your liquid staked assets and gain up to 50x in points just by utilizing these applications. So you can use your Leap wallet, you can use your Kepler wallet. The process will be the exact same. So yeah. A happy airdrop farming. Basically, click on the link. If you have Atom to stake the Atom. More assets are coming to the Drop ecosystem, but in the beginning, they will be focusing on Atom. Remember, early participants in this mainnet activities will gain more points, and this is a closed mainnet, but if you use the link that I'm going to share with you, you should be able to go ahead and participate in the Drop mainnet, liquid staking and gain yourself some points through the Droplets program that is sharing or distributing 100 million drop tokens to early participants who will contribute to the growth of this ecosystem. I'm going to keep this video short. I will link to the video where I talk about the Droplets program in the comment section of this video. Happy Neutron liquid staking via Drop, and have a good one for now. Bye.
And I also want to thank Winnie and also thank you for following Winnie, because last time when I gave her a shout out here, you guys smashed it and it went from 10,800 to over 11,200 in no time. So Thanks everybody for supporting her. She's doing an absolutely amazing job and is a big value add for the Stakecito community, for our core team. The work ethic she has, the commitment she has, and also just the content she creates is invaluable for everyone, right? For me, for you, for every cosmonaut, and it's just amazing to see. So here on Stakecito is where she's mostly sharing a lot of the updates here, and yeah, videos like these and short 2, 3, 4 minute clips about airdrops, about announcements, about referral campaigns. That's what you're going to be finding here on the Stakecito Twitter. And now let's talk about Cosmos Hub, Atom. And there's a couple of proposals that are interesting. Obviously now everyone's saying Atom is cooked, it doesn't pump. But there's a lot of developments, fundamental developments, that might actually, change the trajectory of Atom's perception, at least, because Atom is on track to become a security provider chain, a security aggregator chain with Babylon's BTC staking and also potentially eigenlayer restaking compatibility coming up. I haven't heard much about Ether Stake anymore, to be honest. I haven't seen a tweet in like 2-3 months. I'm not sure what's up there, because Ether Stake was supposed to be the eigenlayer restaking platform as a Cosmos chain to basically bring restaked ETH into Cosmos. If you know more, the latest news about EtherStake, please let me know. But I think this platform, EtherStake, was also the hottest contender for Noble to be chosen to source security from. Maybe now, with the Cosmos Hub actually evolving and improving and also pushing update and governance proposal after governance proposal, there might be a pathway for Noble to reconsider, right? This would be good and bullish for Atom, obviously, but I'm not sure what the chances are, to be honest, at this point, because this should have happened like a year and a half ago. But so far it didn't. But maybe it will, because there are a couple of proposals that might make it more appealing for Noble and projects like Noble to reconsider. Permissionless interchain security, which basically means, until now, if you want to become Atom secured, you have to go through the whole governance process, right? Which means you have to go in the forum. You have to, well, first of all, you have to write the proposal, the forum draft proposal, right? Where a lot of work goes into. Then you have to put it on the forum. You have to collect feedbacks for 2-3 weeks. You have to engage, respond to the feedback, and you have to take some of these ideas to back to the drawing board if there's anything substantial, and then refine the proposal, put it back up, get final feedback, and then put it on chain, which is then a 2-week voting period. I actually think now they decreased it, at least for technical proposals, to decrease the voting time down to 1 week, but all other proposals, like signaling proposals, for example, they are still for 2 weeks in voting on chain. So it's a very tedious, a month and a half process, I would say. And Prop 945 aims to get rid of that, to allow for permissionless interchain security chains onboarding, which basically means that you don't have to put up a governance proposal, right? You can just opt in and allow anyone to create an opt-in consumer chain. And I think this scales the system massively and also makes it more appealing for chains like Noble to actually consider joining the Atom Economic Zone. This is one of the proposals, but then there's another proposal, which is also to create an ICS front end, a permissionless ICS front end, which is also something that the Cosmos Hub doesn't have. There's no front end. We know about Forge in the works. I guess this is going to be part of Forge, if I'm not mistaken, but basically a unified front end in which users and developers can go to. They can request for their chain to be added into ICS v2 and be Atom secured. They can also source validators for that chain on that front end, and users and validators on the other side, they can choose which chain they kind of want to support and want to secure, right? And then there's also another one, Gaia v19 upgrade, which is another chain upgrade that is also currently on the forum, and this is now 3 days away from being approved. This is massively in favor, 99.96 yes votes, and all the other proposals seem to go through as well, besides this proposal, but I think this is supposed to be part of Hydro, so I think once Hydro goes live, then they can just participate in the bidding process, but yeah, that's why this is probably going to fail, but all the others look fine to pass, and I think, yeah, it's time for the Cosmos Hub to finally come out of stealth with their security aggregator and onboard the next wave of Atom secure chains, because right now we only have Neutron and Stride that are not accruing substantial revenue, substantial enough to have an impact, but we need more applications, right? And we have so many lined up. Picasso Network, I talked about it. Illis Network, we talked about it. evmos. We talked about this a lot, right? The EVM hub that is coming to Cosmos now. We talked about Comdex as well, right? For RWAs and tokenization. So it's not like there's no demand for it. There's actually big demand for it. And hopefully Noble, maybe something like Kava as well, will consider to migrate as well. Getting back to Neutron, we talked about drop.money that just went on mainnet yesterday on Neutron. Now we also have a prediction market that is going to come up with Velo Space. And Velo is a new project, as far as I understand, that is going to launch mainnet very, very soon. We're 3 quarters almost there with mainnet launch, and you can also follow them here on Twitter if you want to learn more and stay updated about the progress of Velo Space. Super early stage, they only have 167 followers, but might make sense to give them a follow and just stay updated. That's what I'm going to be doing right now as well. Then we have some updates from Akash network, especially the AKT token. We did this full deep dive tokenomics guide here around Akash a couple of weeks ago, actually July 17th. And our conclusion here was basically that that the inflation is just too high, right? The inflation range. AKT also has a dynamic inflation rate, which a lot of Cosmos chains have, that is pegged to the bonded ratio of tokens, right? So there is an anchor of bonded ratio. Most cases it's 2/3, so 67%, let's say. And if it's above that, inflation will decrease. If it's below that, inflation will increase to incentivize the people to stake, right? Which in the end of the day means to secure the chain. The bad, what we said here, the range of min and maximum inflation is pretty high. It used to be between 13 and 20%, which was cool for us, early kind of Akash buyers that are sitting on a 10, 15x right now, because the staking APR was super high, right? It was above 20% for a long, long time. Now that went down a lot because of this proposal. This proposal passed 4 days ago, the inflation update proposal, which cut the inflation from 20% roof down to 13%, and from the lowest, the minimum inflation rate, from 13 to 8%. You can also see now here the chain parameters that the goal bonded is 67% and the minimum 8%, maximum 13%, which means as long as we are below 67% of the AKT circulating supply being staked, the inflation will go to the top, towards the top of 30%, right, per year. And right now we are at 54.2%, so we're below, which means inflation is going to sit at 13% until we cross 67%, and then we will gradually go down towards a bottom of 8%. There was another part of the proposal in which part of the inflation is also redirected to the community pool instead of just everything going to stakers. So that will just make the community pool more revenue. Currently there's $25 million in the community pool, and this will now increase over time with this increase in the tax rate. We also have a product update from Akash here, which is, like I always say, the coolest thing about Akash is that they just focus on the product and the vertical that they're focusing on disrupting, right? Which is AI, infrastructure, compute, fast, free, and private alternative to ChatGPT, basically. And you can also play around with it yourself here if you go on chat.akash.network, and you can message and engage with the Akash chat system. DYDX, also some news there. We have a new market. OM just got listed there. You can trade OM Mantra if you wish to do that on DYDX. They also have some news from Sei Network. We now have native USDT and USDC on Sei via Stargate. So that's also cool to see more and more developments there. Sei also has this massive creators program I saw, where I think now we're going to see a lot more events and content around Sei Network. I also saw there's an event here happening in Dubai this month. So yeah, Sei also making progress, and I think this is much needed now in a phase like this to like really push hard on the marketing, community, event side of things, deploy onboarding funnels for new developers and the community to just be more engaged on Sei. Lastly, I also want to share this briefly. We have a new airdrop that just went live. Unicorn and memes. I talked about it actually a long time ago in May 2nd here. This one got 9K views. We also talked about it here. May 8th, this one got almost 4K views. And in these videos, I said that you should play around with that you should check this out. Obviously, do your own research, your own due diligence. Don't just blindly go there. But now they did an airdrop, and they also got listed. So 52,000 people or wallets claimed the airdrop across the Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and IBC ecosystems. A couple of NFT collections were eligible, a couple of stickers, right? We talked about this also in the video back then as part of our airdrop news coverage. And they also released a guide here how you can claim the UWU clawback. You just have to go here on unicorn.meme, connect to Solana, Base, or Cosmos wallet, and then claim your UWU token. You have until the end of this month, so don't postpone claiming, don't wait with this, because you might be missing out on a lot, right? And if you look at the chart and the FTV, there's 2.2 million in liquidity, 27.4 FTV, but I think this is based on the wrong supply, because I think my researcher shared with me that the total supply is actually a lot higher. So this is nearly 100 million FTV, which means your token airdrop might actually be worth some money. So check that out as well, and always follow for the airdrop news. So don't fade the Cosmos. Like I always say, you can already tell some of these coins are bouncing really nicely from last week lows. I think we're still going to have a Cosmos season ahead in the next couple of weeks and months. There's just too many quality projects, and too many big launches around the corner, right? Babylon alone is going to have a massive impact and will dominate the Bitcoin narrative for weeks, maybe months. Mantra is going to launch their mainnet. Parachain is going to launch mainnet also by the end of this year. So it's all coming together. Nillion in the AI space as well. Projects upon projects lined up to launch, and some of the existing ones are just killing it as well, right? Like Liquidity as well, like Axelar as well, Akash, Celestia as well. We talked about it a lot, and so on and so forth. Anyways, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys very soon. Until then, stay safe and be good.